Hey everyone, in today's video, we're going to look at how to set up an automated email chain. This could be useful when, for example, people get onto your newsletter or fill out a form for a promotion, whatever reason you might have for wanting to send them, a week or a month of different sales-related emails or just emails highlighting you and your business and the solutions you provide customers, whatever it might be. The best way to do it is to set up an automation. So here in Full Scope, we'll go to the automations area, and we're going to create a new workflow for this. I'll just create one from scratch. And I'm going to rename it, let's say, just email sequence. Now the trigger, like I mentioned, could be a form or someone placing an order of some type. It's really up to you to choose. I'm going to skip the trigger for now and just get right into the automation. So what is an email sequence? It's simply a series of emails. It could be 2, it could be 20, that go out over a period of time that you have chosen. So step 1, when someone fills out this form, is probably they're going to get their first email. So let's add an action, and I'm just going to type email into the field here, and I will send them an email. Now, here in this particular sequence, we're going to take one step that is going to save us a little bit of time, because in each email action, you can define the from name, which is probably your name or your business's name, and the from email, which is probably your email, although some people juggle multiple, which is why we have this option here. You have to define that in each one of these email actions, but assuming this email sequence is going to be sent all from the same name and same email, let's go back one step and save ourselves a little time and do this in the settings. If we come here to settings and scroll down, you can see here you can set a default from name and from email for all the emails, and this will basically just tell the system, hey, every single email that goes out in this particular workflow, send it from this particular use these details basically. So the from name would be your business name, and then the from email would be your @business.com, yourdomain.com kind of thing. So that looks good. Let's go back, and now when we add an email, or rather a send email action, we can just skip those and not worry about that. So the subject will be, let's just, for the sake of example, we'll call it email number 1. And then here down below, as you might know from other videos or just from playing around in your account, you can either type a plain text email, or you can use a template from the email designer. I'm going to use a template. I'm just going to pick something random, the example template here. We had a recent update you might have noticed as well, which is great. Now you can edit these templates and these emails right here in the workflow builder instead of having to go back and forth between the email builder and the workflows, which is going to save you a bunch of time. It's going to be very helpful. So if I want, I can click edit here, open up this email, double check, like, hey, is all the content correct? Is this how I want it to be? And if I want, I can make some edits here and save it as a new template, which means I can use a previous template as a starting point, but then still create a new template out of it without overriding the other one. So lots of great stuff here. And as you can see on the left, all the normal email elements and settings from the email builder. I just won't do anything here, and I'll keep on going. And let's just say the action name up here so we can stay organized is also email number 1. So now I can save this. And now, based on whatever trigger we chose up here, our first email is going out. And after this, all we're really going to do, at least in a basic email sequence, is set up a series of emails and wait functions. Because obviously we don't want to send them 10, 20 emails right all at one time in the same go. We want to maybe stagger them over a day, over a couple days, so we aren't flooding people's inbox and making enemies out of potential customers. So the next action, if we click this plus icon again, will simply be to add a wait function. And here we'll leave it at the default wait time delay, and the time delay will be, instead of minutes, probably, again, up to you. It could be an hour later already, depending on how you want to set things up. I'm just going to go with a default of 1 day later. So 1 day later, and I'll name the action wait 1 day, so that again, these names, when you're looking at everything all in this long list, it helps to name them clearly so you know what everything is doing without having to open up each individual action. So we'll save that. And now look at this. We've got email number 1, wait 1 day. And what comes after that? Probably email number 2, right? Now I could hit the plus icon and set that all up again the way I did the first time, or I could click the 3 dots here and I could just copy this action. And I'm going to click copy here under wait 1 day. And now I can open this up. It's already halfway finished for me. At least I have the subject, the action name, so I can just call this now email number 2, and let's just pretend the subject of the email is email number 2 as well. I would pick the next template in my list probably, or again, just use that same template, type something new, and then save it as a new template and keep going from there. And don't forget, here at the bottom, you can test your emails all one at a time, which is really wise. It's always good to send yourself your own emails, make sure you didn't miss anything or forget to click save or have a typo, whatever it might be. So email number 2, boom. Then we're going to wait another day. And guess what? We're going to do the same exact thing. We're going to copy this action, go down here, and now we're going to wait another day. And just like this, I can set up an email sequence. Again, that is a couple days long, 2 weeks long, 3 months long. It really doesn't matter. It's completely up to you. And of course, in between, you can start doing more advanced things. You can set things up to check on different customer parameters. The limits really don't exist for the automation tools. Whatever you can dream of, you can probably do here. Whether it will be very, very simple to set up or not is, of course, depending on how complicated your ideas are. But this is the basic setup. We've got a trigger that's going to activate this sequence, and it's going to start email number 1 and then wait a certain amount of time, email number 2, wait again, email number 3, etc., etc. So this is how we would go and do this. And here, of course, don't forget to save up at the top. And if this is ready to go, then you can hit publish, of course, as well. And if you want to test this workflow, you can using the test workflow action. But just know, it's going to take a while depending on how much wait time you had here in between all these emails. So you might prefer to just test the emails individually. The wait function, generally speaking, is pretty easy to see whether you set it up correctly or not. Or you can, of course, change the wait function to be, 1 minute between each email, just to test the whole sequence within 10 minutes or so of clicking the test button, and then come back and change it to 1 day in between. Is totally up to you. Don't forget in the settings to take a look at, for example, these 2 up at the top, allow re-entry. It might be that, if someone signs multiple different forms or subscribes to your newsletter again for whatever reason, maybe they think it didn't work or something happened, you might not want them to come into this long email sequence twice. So you might want to uncheck this and make it so that even if they somehow make it into the sequence a second time, it doesn't trigger for them, because again, if you have a long email chain, 20 emails, something like this, that might be way too much for them to get a second time. It might just end up annoying them. So you might want to uncheck that depending. And then of course, stop on response. If this is like a sales sequence and then someone sends you an email responding to one of these and says, hey, you know what? I'm sold. This looks great. I want to start working with you or purchase this product, whatever it is. Then you might not want to continue sending them the rest of those emails because they've already basically shown an interest in converting to being an actual customer. So 2 things to think about over here. And then, of course, just don't forget to save and hit publish. If you have any questions about how to set this up, how to work with automation to do email sequences, contact us via the support portal in your account. We'll be happy to help, and we will see you in the next video.